Welcome to the Fit Femme Project Alignment Podcast. It is here that we cultivate and gather all who have been through it in fitness, relationships, careers, lifestyle changes, and unforgettable crucial life pivots trying to achieve their most sovereign selves. We're here to provide you with thought-provoking, detailed stories and information from truly fascinating men and women from all walks of life, professions, generations, and modern-day sagas who speak to their rawest, darkest moments that made them the strong, decisive, humble, helpful, healing people that they are today. We ask them to hold nothing back because life is a multi-dimensional pursuit to be stronger, healthier, and more aligned mentally, emotionally, and physically. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back to the FFP Alignment Podcast. With me as usual is Coach Lindsey.
Hi.
She might give us a couple coughs, but that's okay.
I'm so sorry. I hate it too.
Is it just coughing and that's it? No other symptoms? Just the cough? Like you're not exhausted?
Yes, I am.
Also, look at your shoulders. Your shoulders look great. Sorry, I didn't interrupt.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm leaning. I haven't gotten any more muscle, but I do have less fat on them. Getting ready for the competition, so pew. But yeah, I keep I'm doing things I don't do, like fall asleep on the couch in the evening still. So yeah, I've still got the flu. And Charlie too. Charlie, she's my 8-year-old. For those of you who don't listen to me talk incessantly about my family, but she has been asking to go to bed early every night, and it makes me so sad.
Oh, poor baby.
I know, but we'll be back eventually. Or this is
life.
This is just who we are. We're very sleepy and we cough.
Aw. Are you, is your back so you know how you get sore, like you're from coughing so much? That happens to me.
Yeah. No, it was where I was coughing and I felt like my chest was the top chest. What is this?
Your sternum?
The top of my sternum was going to rip in half and I would have to cough like this. But that's better and I could just really let it rip. So at least there's that.
Oh, yeah. So you're not doing anything fun this weekend, I assume.
I am. I'm going on date night tonight.
What are you doing?
We're going to go eat at a restaurant here called Sonny Williams that I love so much, especially when I'm on prep, because you just buy your entree is just whatever meat you pick. And they've got lobster tails, Chilean sea bass.
Fancy place.
It is, but fancy places are the best for prep because you can just get you a chunk of fish and then a plain baked potato.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For carbs and just enjoy yourself. I'm really excited. To wear real clothes. Am I excited about that?
Yes.
I don't know. To look cute, yes. I don't know about actually wearing them. But to not cook.
Yes.
I love
that's
that.
number one.
And just to I don't know the last time Matt and I have just been on a one-on-one date. We just always are in with our friends or taking the kids somewhere. So going out together is going to be nice.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and then we have kids stuff the rest of the weekend. So what?
What show are you prepping for? You don't know yet.
I do.
Did we talk about this?
Maybe it's I don't know what it's called. It's in Memphis. It is on May 11th. I never like to say I'm doing this show because I just like to if my my body's not doing the right thing or if it looks like I don't want to freak out about it because there's shows. You can just pick a different one and you don't have to
May 11th
stress out.
I want to go.
I'm prep's going really good, so I think it's going to work out.
I want to go.
You can come. It's only 3 hours from you.
Yeah. Isn't that when Casey's coming to see you, or is that a different date?
That's the end of this month.
March. Oh, okay. She doesn't talk to me anymore.
Only about work now.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's kind of how it's been lately. We just can really only do work shit. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go. Well, it shouldn't be too bad, but we'll talk about it. But yeah, because I'll be at Salt Lake with her and Rosita in April.
Oh, that'll be so fun. What
I'm so
April
excited.
what? Because aren't they both competing in April?
Yeah, the actual competition is April 20th, so 420, and what we're flying in the previous Thursday, so like the 17th through the 21st. You want to
Oh,
come?
the competition's there. No,
Yeah. Oh.
I don't. It'll be right before I compete, so I'm like, I don't really want to
Oh,
fly
true.
anywhere. If I can not fly places when I'm in prep, that's my favorite thing because I just like to pack my own food. I just want to have
Yeah.
that's it. Like I don't care if I have to sit in a restaurant drinking a Diet Coke or a water. Like that's fine. I just like to be invited. But
Yeah.
flying is a whole new, it's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
It's the food. That's the killer, and not just competition, but nutrition, fitness, health goals, body goals. It's the nutrition, and
Yeah.
it's hard to eat out that. Well, I mean, you really can't eat out that close to. I don't eat out that close to a competition.
No, and I was gonna like talk to like you or Rosetta about that because because it's I'm there for them. I'm not going out and about, so I'll have to bring my own stuff. So I'm like, I don't
Instacart. Don't try to bring it.
Instacart.
Instacart.
Okay.
Instacart.
So I
And
was
that's
like,
what
I don't want it
I
to get
will travel.
confiscated.
It will. Like just like it
Yeah.
depends on who's on. Like some people will let you have your thing of oatmeal, and some people will be like, no, it's a liquid. Like it sucks.
Okay.
And like the risk versus reward is just not there. So I will either, depending on like timing, I've gotten Mega Fit meals delivered to Las
Mm,
Vegas, Nevada one
it's a
time,
good
and that
idea.
worked out. And then I will just, if I'm at an Airbnb, which is always my request when I'm traveling on prep, Instacart, and I'll just on the like literally when I'm in the Uber or car on the way from the airport, I'm just like back, 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 back.
We're at a hotel, so it's probably the host hotel from what I assume. But yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be a quick weekend. But I've never been to Salt Lake.
Well, I've heard it's beautiful.
Me too. That's probably all. I'll say the same thing after I get back. Like, yeah, I heard it's pretty because I'm going to be inside all day, which is fine. And I'm so
It
excited. I'm going
is.
to be Rosetta's little like media girl. I'm going to follow her around with her phone and video everything.
Now you have to come to mine because I want a media girl.
Okay,
That
I
is
will. I'll
that
do it.
that is you.
That's me. I'll do it.
For
I'll
getting
bring my stuff.
specific, I would choose you. Yeah.
Are you getting there the day of, or no? You're getting there the day before.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta get your tan and stuff the day. Your first tan the day before.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
Us,
maybe I will.
or I do. Us ultra whites do. Us translucents need 2 to 3
2 to
coats.
3 days. That's hilarious. Well, anyway, let's get on track here. We are going to talk about the honeymoon phase. We've all
Yeah.
been there. We love it. We love the
Oh
honeymoon
yeah.
phase. I was thinking about this today about some of the stuff I wanted to say. It's so your fitness, your relationship with like the gym, and this whole stuff. It really does remind me of an actual relationship because you do go through that honeymoon phase, and then you
Mhm.
go through the slumps, and then you kind of fall in love with it again, or you get the new workout leggings. You're like, I actually love this. Let's go, and then you kind of go through,
Yeah.
you know.
And you also go through phases of, is all the effort I'm putting actually worth this?
Where's my butt? Ah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny. So, how long would you say is like a honeymoon phase on average?
Of course, it's going to be dependent on the person and how hot they go in.
Yeah.
But I would say usually 4 to 8 weeks
Okay.
is a good
Sounds
honeymoon.
about right.
4 is about what people that go in and they are like 1,000,000% in, guns blazing, that kind of get their die trying attitude. That's about 4 weeks. And then 8 weeks
Yeah.
is someone that just is reasonable, but maybe, is surprised by how much time it actually takes to develop a new physique or to hit the goals that they want to hit.
Do you find there's for the types of people that are like guns ablazing versus a
Yeah.
different group, what like you can kind of predict when that honeymoon phase will be over?
Not 100% of the time. Like
Okay.
I've been wrong a lot. I have been wrong a lot, but I usually. But I've been proven wrong before too. Like I've had someone that came in guns blazing, like I can eat less, I can work out more. I'm used to working out 7 days a week. I run 3 miles a day. Like that person. I'm like, oh God, please, I'm begging you, bring it down. The hotter the flame, the quicker it burns out, kind of deal. But then they just keep a decent tempo once I get them to, ease
Chill.
up on the time they're spending in the gym and stuff. But then, there's people that I feel like I can't get them excited ever about
Okay.
it. And they end up just cruising
They're
right
in a
through.
relationship they don't want to be in.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, the ones are, you can tell that they feel like they have to be here. They don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it just depends on, and too, I mean, it will depend on how quickly they see results.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you have someone that comes on and they like, and this happens, this is pretty normal because of just like water weight and bloat. And sometimes when people know they're going to start a program trying to um, better themselves, they're like, okay, this is my last week or my last weekend before I start acting right. And they go real ham all weekend.
Yeah.
And then that first week, they'll drop like 5 pounds or something kind of
Wow.
crazy. Yeah. So that's always motivating. You really don't know until you get into it with people. And it will depend too so much on what areas they will let me help coach. If they just want to send me their
Oh.
pictures and their weight, and every week I'm having to pull out of them, how did you feel? How are your workouts? How was your recovery? Where are you on your cycle? How was your adherence this week? Where did you struggle? Where is an area we can work on? What was your water intake? All the different things. If I can, the more information I can pull out and coach on the daily habits, the better. So results come when you kind of adjust your expectations, or really if you could just eliminate them.
Yeah. I talk a lot about that we talk about that a lot on the podcast and on my TikTok. uh,
You're so fancy. We know. We
no,
get it. You're fancy.
no, well, yeah, I guess whatever. That's enough of that. But yeah, no, having the proper we talk about this a lot. Having the proper expectations for when you are starting something,
Mm-hmm.
that yes, you will have the periods of the motivation and the excitement, but then absolutely expect the periods of just it's monotonous, it's boring, it's it's and
Yeah.
that helps tremendously because I know when I started, of course I was excited, but I had the mindset of like, this is my normal now. Like I have to keep reminding myself until it became my
Mm-hmm.
normal. Like this is my everyday. This is how I am. This is what I want. This is my life. Nothing else. And it
Yeah,
makes those
yeah.
monotonies and those slumps a lot easier, I would say.
Yeah. Well, just kind of like reminding yourself, like, no, I got to get out of that mindset of this is something I'm doing that I hate as a means to an end. And I'm trying to evolve into this person that has a fit body and has a healthy relationship with food and is in control of their choices and impulses. Like that's what a fit person is at the core. Is this the devil's in the details. And these are the details of their day-to-day activities. And so
Mm-hmm.
understanding that I'm trying to change who I am as a person and what I do day in and day out and just kind of like, and when it's uncomfortable and when you get sick of it, you're like, well, have my goals changed? No. Well, then you got to put the reps in. You got to put the reps in until it becomes habitual, meaning you don't have to think about it and force it every time you do it.
Yeah. And I think that also is another expectation, is that can take time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, is this how am I always gonna feel like this? Is this how it's always gonna be? Until you get the new workout leggings, or you see the
Yeah.
changes in your physique, or the scale go down, and you're like, oh, wait a second, okay, this, that little like spark that you find.
Yeah, and you get it, all along the way.
Yep.
The problem comes in is when you don't get it enough to keep you, like that word motivation, to keep you motivated and understanding, like, yeah, that's there I go again. I'm trying to operate off of feelings. I'm trying to operate off of needing something externally to motivate me intrinsically. And all I need to know that I need to do the work is that this is the protocol that is going to get me where I want to go, and not having to rely on a YouTube video, or it's just Walter doing Walter things.
Well, he was about to step into these like glass dishes. I'm like,
Oh, no.
he's definitely being Walter. Sorry.
But it's just going through it, and again, it's that old cliche of trusting the process, because I do think
Yeah.
people will be like, I haven't seen the results that I expected. I've been at this for this number of weeks, and I still haven't lost the weight I thought I would. And they second guess, like, am I doing the right thing? Am I being led down the right path, or am I going the wrong direction?
Yeah,
Am I
I've
doing
definitely felt
something
that.
wrong? Oh, we've all felt that. And
Yeah.
it just goes back to, you have to know what you're doing. You have to know that what you're doing is not silly. It's not like a fad diet. It's not a flash in the pan. It's not a product you're buying. And it goes down to the base of, I am working to get stronger and to eat well, not battle hunger all the time, or just figure out a way to eat as little as possible.
Yeah.
Like, just being able to rein yourself back into, like, actually, when I think about what I'm trying to do, add tissue to my body. Does it make sense that adding tissue to your human body would take a little bit of time, and that it wouldn't just magically appear overnight like a cartoon? Like, yeah, that makes sense. And the same goes in the reverse. Like, you are trying to take cells in your body and shrink them down. That's going to take a little bit of time. Like, our bodies are pretty intricate. They're pretty complex. So expecting that one, like a couple weeks of change in nutrition or exercise would change us down to, like, the way we're made up is kind of silly.
Yeah.
Like, in hindsight, I think that's silly.
Yeah. It is. And, we've all we've talked about this before, how we've been fed, through
Uh-huh.
media, that our expectation should be that, 4 weeks, 8 weeks,
Yeah.
see results. And, I watched a TikTok the other day of, who was it? They just made a really good point when you're looking at the results from when someone's trying to sell their program, their 8-week program, and they're showing
Mm-hmm.
like the before and after pictures. Oh, it was somebody just talking about just genetics and how everybody's body is different. So you're looking at these before and after photos of somebody who went from this to this in 8 weeks. Wow, okay. And you have to remember that those are, hopefully it's the truth in some way, but they're the highlights of that program. So they're going to take the shining stars of that 8-week program and be like, this can be you. Well, maybe if that's the way your body's designed, because some people can do
But
this or
honestly,
that.
not.
But do you know what I mean? Like, he was making a
Yeah.
point that they're showing the absolute highlights. And he's like, some guys can look at weights and then build muscle, while some, have to go 2 to 3 years to look like that. You know what I mean? Like, the
Yeah.
comparison, like, comparison
Uh-huh.
is the thief, right? So I thought
Yeah.
that was like a great distinction. Like, everyone's body does respond differently. It will always take time, but yeah. Don't. We've all been
Well,
fed the wrong
and
thing.
I saw one the other day that was like it was like a 14 or 21 day challenge. It was super short and
Oh,
had a highlighted photo where there was, significant difference in the physique as far as fat loss goes.
yeah.
And like people were commenting out, and I was looking at it and I was like, like I've never done this, but I feel like I need to report him to one of these people on social media that call out like
Yeah.
absolutely not. Anyway, it ended up like in the comment section. It was, well, this person started with my 14-day challenge, but then they stayed with me for 2 years.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. That
In the
is like,
comments, all buried.
yes, but I was like, because I was like, absolutely don't. No, that is not how this works. That's not how any of this works. If the person had gone and gotten surgery, they still wouldn't have even been healed. You know what I'm saying? In 14 days, you can't do
Yeah.
very much in 14 days except get some groundwork laid.
Yeah, that's it. So when you come across like a client or whatever who is so obviously not in the honeymoon phase, which probably happens all the time, what's your
Uh-huh.
pep talk?
My pep talk is, if I can talk, and this because this is what worked well for me, is to just decide that this fitness goal was important to me. Obviously, because I had had it for years and years and years and never gotten it, and it never like faded off, or I didn't forget about it or change my mind. I just could never get there. So decide that I am going to do what it takes for as long as it takes to achieve this goal. And just even just
Mm,
letting myself off the hook of a timeline,
okay.
I feel like expedited the process because I wasn't constantly unmotivated and let down. And I had to open my mind. Of course, I'm a coach, so maybe people would not have to like knock their egos down a few notches like I did to have to really learn, because I was, got told like, yeah, you really need to spend time maintenance or a surplus building muscle. And I was like, build muscle? I've been working out for however many years. There's no way lack of muscle is my problem. Well, it was because of the
Oh.
way I was working out. And it just goes back to just time in that tempo. And that's what I talk to people about. Stop needing these rushes of adrenaline and energy and focus on the tempo.
Mm.
Keeping just a moderate tempo on everything you do on the weekends, when you travel, when you celebrate, when you're bored, when you're lonely, when you're sad, when you're tired. Keep that tempo and then watch everything transform and start to get a whole lot easier.
All right, folks. Now that's great. You know what's been motivating me lately?
What?
So I've been following like Instagram or TikTok accounts. I've always followed like fitness,
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
And I've been seeing, for some reason, it's been getting to me, but not in a bad way, where I'll
Oh,
see these girls who are obviously like they're an influencer, they got the six pack or whatever. But they are obviously like they are smaller than me. They have smaller muscles, like physique wise, they're just smaller.
mm-hmm.
But they are lifting so much weight. I'm like, I can't have that happen in my lifetime. No, they look like that, and I'm not lifting that. Fuck that.
I've always told you that.
I know, and it's true. Like we all like probably could push ourselves a little bit more, and I am now back in that like, okay, I probably need to like push it a little bit. I've gotten a little comfortable. But seeing those little like she'll be doing like the 300, 400 hip thrust pounds, and I'm like, I could do that, and you look like nothing. I look like something. You look
I
like
could snap
nothing.
you in half. Yeah.
I mean, you got a great ass, but otherwise, you look like nothing, and this is unfair.
First of all, this is not how any of this should work. I will say, especially on hip thrusts, I do see see people piling plates on there and moving weight
Yeah.
that they should not be doing. That they're not the form, they're lifting it with their backs and their quads. So
Yeah.
you do, social media, you always have to take that grain of salt about A, is it true? B, is what they're doing even beneficial for things other than like likes and comments and things like
True.
that. But yeah, but the butt is strong. The butt is very,
Yeah.
very strong.
I need to stop underestimating it because, like, one girl in particular, I'm thinking of, she does the weights in kilos. So she's like, "All right, I'm gonna do 100 kilos," and I'm like, "That's whatever." And then I was like, "What's the conversion?" And I was like, "Oh fuck,
Yeah.
it's like double."
It's a lot.
Yeah,
I
what am
know.
I doing?
I see that too, and think, okay, maybe it's time for me to actually hit a PR on the same movement that I've done probably 26 million times. But
Right?
there is always room to. I wish I had kept count on how many hip thrusts I've done in the past 5 years, 4 years. When did I start doing hip thrusts?
Like at the same weight or just in general?
Just in general. I just want to
Okay.
know how many thousands of hip thrusts I've done.
I saw a funny video of a girl. She's like, when I first started doing delt raises, it was like the 10 pounds, and she's like this. She's like, 4 years later, it's the same weight.
Oh, on laterals for sure.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so humbling, so freaking humbling.
That's a good question. When I was thinking about this in my workout today, when it comes to those smaller muscles, because it's so easy to scale weight with like big muscles, like your butt and your legs, right? But when it comes to like the smaller muscles, like why?
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
more.
I'm not asking
It's
that,
more
right?
to do with like not more, but yeah, it's a smaller muscle, and you have to think about leverage. How far it's leveraged away from your body is the bigger difficulty level.
Okay, gravity.
You know what I mean? Well, just like something out here this far away from your body is a
Yeah.
lot heavier than if you're holding it right here. It's the same weight and the same muscles.
And your legs aren't going that much further up from here.
But I
Like
mean,
your
you
arm.
think about doing like a cable kickback. You can't do tons of weight on that, and that's your butt, but you're
Yeah.
moving it far away from your body.
Okay, we're back. We had a very odd technical difficulty, but I'm small. I'm small. Yeah, I do. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna ignore all the warning signs I'm seeing on my dashboard right now.
Ignore all the red flags.
Literally. And let's see where this goes. Anyway, so let's get back on track. So, as far as this honeymoon phase, we all love it, but what do you recommend with like what to do during the slumps? Because there's going to be a lot of them.
Make sure that you're tracking like several different metrics and pictures. That is a huge, and I always encourage my clients, I was like, check in the same outfit, the same time of day. I always try to get everybody to do dry weight where you just wake up, go pee, pictures and weight, get everything done. And then that weekly check-in, I think, is a huge help for people. Having someone else look over everything you're doing, maybe focus on something you weren't thinking about, like you're just thinking about nutrition. Oh, I'm doing everything right, and why isn't the scale going down? Or I feel like it should be going down faster. Well, maybe we need to look at workout intensity, and are you missing workouts, and what is, are you getting your steps in, or your cardio requirements, your water, all kinds of different things. And just having, for me, that weekly time to just focus and look intently at what I've been doing and what my goals are and how am I progressing, and having someone else that is not emotionally attached to my results look at everything is huge. I think that's one of the biggest values of having a coach.
Oh yeah.
Is the accountability and someone else to help you refine. Do you need to change your macros? Do you need to just kick yourself in the pants? Try a little bit harder. Keep going. Can we see physique changes, even though maybe the scale isn't moving that much? I mean, my gosh, that happened to me for the first, it was weeks when I started prep that the scale was like, I'm not moving, not doing, you're doing all this stuff for nothing. Hope you love it. I mean, I was doing like double the cardio I was doing before, which was basically none, but still.
Yeah.
And just following my macros that were cut, from where I was to a T. And like sometimes just the math on it don't make sense.
Yeah.
Like I was eating this much and now I'm eating this much and the scale's exactly the same. Like, what is going on? How?
Yeah.
And that happens to everybody. It's not just people that don't know what they're doing. It's people like me that have done this however many times before, and I know exactly what should happen. And sometimes it doesn't. But the real strength and the real results come through just plowing right through that. Just putting your head, just when you just keep going and it's not that you don't care that things are not moving along the way you wish they would. I care, but it bears no impact on my actions anymore. None.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's the difference.
Yeah, Casey talked about that in our last. Well, I actually haven't. Did I ever? Can't remember if I published that one or not. But she said something along the same lines where, she's been in this a lot longer than we have as a professional. And she still has those thoughts where she's like, well, I had a day like today, so maybe I should do this to like offset something. And then she'll catch
Make
herself
up for it. Yep.
make up for it. And it's just kind of in a way refreshing that someone as seasoned as Casey still has those thoughts, and it's okay. We just let it go, keep doing what we're told,
Yeah, I mean, it still happens to me too. As a coach that would tell someone the exact same thing.
Yeah.
When I had the flu last week and I was so miserably sick, no appetite. It's not like I just wasn't that hungry. I didn't want to eat at all. Like, I would even try and think of things to make myself hungry, like food that I love, and be like, think about cookies and ice cream and I'd be like, ugh. I'm like, oh great. If that doesn't work, nothing will. But it was, what was best, because it wasn't like the vomiting diarrhea flu, it was a fever credola. And so what's best is to stay on my macros, get all of my food in because I am sick. I'm getting depleted and all that. So I would have to make my little food and I would just have to eat all day long.
Yeah.
Walk by and take a bite and like, ha, 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 and knuckle down. But in my head, it would also go, well, this would be an excellent opportunity to drop a few pounds.
Ooh. Yeah.
I mean, prep, right?
Yeah.
But knowing all I know, like, well, what kind of weight are you wanting to lose? Are you wanting to lose a little bit of that muscle that takes so freaking long and so much concerted effort and nutrition to pack on? Is that you wanting to give away a little bit of that? Like, no. But I'm really glad that I stayed on because I think it helped me come back not depleted. And I only missed like a couple lifting days when I've straight up had fever. And came back and saw again after less movement, missed workouts, missed cardio, decent drop on the scale.
Yeah.
And at least I can be happy about that instead of being like, oh God, it was probably from my butt.
Was it?
I don't know. I'm kind of flat right now. I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, you haven't coughed once.
Why did you do that?
Oh, sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry. There you go. Drink the water. Coughing is it's the hard, like it's impossible to hold in a cough. Nearly impossible. When I was a massage therapist, that's the worst.
That would be the worst.
And having to go to the bathroom.
Trying to relax and you're just like.
And I can count on one hand how many times I've successfully held in a cough. It's so hard. I have to constantly like be swallowing like.
I'm just getting so much water in now, like it's not a problem at all because I'm constantly combating the tickle.
Oh my gosh. And I'm the one who's like, need to like mute myself more often. Anyhow, yeah, I would I would say that I'm definitely in a honeymoon phase with myself right now. The past like 2 months,
Yeah,
don't you think?
you're
Don't you
feeling
think?
it. Well,
Yeah.
you do really well though. You it it's and like I tell you this sometimes. You like people don't understand how far they've come because the whole point of developing habits is that it's not always this big struggle. It's not this huge effort to make yourself eat this way and to go to the gym and to go, get your steps in. And so when something doesn't feel like a struggle, when it's not you forcing yourself to do stuff, then you get into the mindset of like, oh, I'm just not doing it anymore. No, no, no. You've improved. You've developed actual habits. You're doing them habitually, not consciously even. And so you've got to remember that and not feel like, oh, I just don't care anymore. It's just time to push a little harder. Like let's put
Oh
you back on
no.
the struggle bus for a while. You know what I
Damn
mean?
it.
Because
Yeah.
you have room for it now. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's hard to put someone in like a good calorie deficit to lose weight when they are struggling with food prep, when they are struggling to make it to the gym 3 times a week. Because now, not only are they struggling with these habits, now you also hungry. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're trying to ride 2 struggle buses at the same time. And that honeymoon phase is usually pretty short, that'll happen pretty quick where you're like, okay, the fun wore off. I am exhausted. I'm hungry. I still don't know what I'm doing with meal prep. I feel like, and I hate going to the gym. Like that's all too much. So you have to, if you are struggling with the basics of consistently hitting the gym, having your meals prepared and ready and not, missing your nutrition due to lack of preparation 4 out of 5 days, whatever. You have to battle those first, or you are going to burn out pretty quick.
Yeah, I've said this before, or we say this a lot, and where, if you're trying to like make something work for you, like, okay, right now what works for me is 2 days a week at the gym and this, and this. But then
Yeah.
like we don't do it because you kind of self sabotage because it's like, it's not enough though.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's okay so that it sounds easy, but if that's like what works for you, just,
Hmm.
just do it, you know?
Yeah. Just do what you can like mentally wrap your mind around right now. And all the time, like I have clients that don't want to go to the gym. They hate the gym or they're intimidated by it or whatever. Or they just want to work out at home because that's where they're comfortable and feel like they would be consistent. And then they get into it and they start feeling more confident. And then we work our way into the gym. But they
Mm-hmm.
will say, oh, I can't, I can't ever grow the glutes. I want to go because I have to work out at home. That kind of mindset. And then you start, I just had a client that was doing dumbbell only workouts for the first like 8 weeks. And we added in to where now she's going to go to the gym on leg days, right?
Okay.
Just little steps like that. So it's pretty cool when you show someone what all they actually are capable of when they've been telling themselves a story about all the stuff they can't do for a really long time.
Mm-hmm. I made a little TikTok video about that the other day. Where I had just had thought to myself real quick about I was doing the single leg hip thrust and I lost my train of thought. Oh, I was remembering like when I first started doing them, how
Yeah.
I hated it. I hated it because it was so hard to do without weight. I had to like hold on to like something on the side, like help me, like, oh, I can't lift my
Really?
leg up. Like it felt so dumb. So I hated it because I was doing it with zero weight. And then I thought about this because I was about to go do it and I'm putting on like a 30-pound dumbbell on my hips. I was like,
Look
excuse
at me.
me, look at me go. And so that day
Yeah.
I went on Amazon and bought that strappy dumbbell hip thrust thingy.
Yeah, that's cool.
I did scrape up my hand because that Velcro is intense.
Oh,
Look at
really? I wondered
that little
about
scrape.
that. Oh, you lost some meat. Yeah.
A little bit of meat, but it's, yeah, you should get one. I was like, yeah, this will be a fun way to switch it up, add more weight.
Yeah.
Because my gym, because in my program you have it as like a barbell hip thrust, and the squat rack at my gym is like, has the front rails and the back one, so it's like the 4 posts.
Yeah.
And the floor is too slippery, so like the bench, even if I scooted it up, for one, the bench is a little high, but the bench would just slip out from under me. It's like, I need to buy myself a physio ball or whatever and try it that way. I was like, well, let me try the little dumbbell hip thrust strap thing, and it's so worth it. That was motivating.
Oh, cool. That is motivating. Yeah, and
fun.
it's comfortable too, because it does hurt to have those dumbbells sitting on top of your hip bone.
Yeah, but it looked like I had a corset on and everything was just like 4 inches protruding.
Yeah.
I was like looking in the mirror. I was like, good thing I'm the only one in here.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about me.
No, I love hearing your stories, because you're like, I think it helps, like, from a true client perspective too, because you've been a client now for a couple years, and that's a good amount of time, and you've seen some really good progress. But if you had stopped after 3 months, 12 weeks, because you're like, oh, I just was really wanting to get, shredded, and it didn't happen. You would have, think of all you would have left on the table, not just physicality, but how much water you drink, how many steps you take, how much stronger you are, how much stronger you've made your bones, the years you've added to your health span.
Yeah.
Like, allowing yourself to make those emotional decisions based on aesthetics is mainly where people get frustrated, because the way that they have looked hasn't, to them, changed quickly enough. When you start doing that and you start going, and what that is, what it is, going back into your old habits, the SOS of the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
To me, like for me, I had to get tired enough of starting and stopping to just be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to hit this goal. And when I hit this goal, then and only then will I have the information I need to make an informed decision about whether or not it was worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's just the truth.
Yeah. I had definitely, one reason why I'm in the honeymoon phase now is because I got enough. I was sick and tired of my own shit, right? We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Just over your BS. And again, it was like the new year just kind of did something to my brain where it's like, dude, you really want to keep paying for this? Like, let's like save some money here. So let's go. Come on, stop dicking around,
Yeah.
And then we did the no drinking in February, which went really, really well. And so it's like, one thing after another where like my mindsets around certain things that were probably, I don't want to say holding me back, but it's not helping, right? Have definitely gone by the wayside. And it's just, it's motivating, right? So that's like the reason why.
You should do no drinking March too.
Well, the whole point was like, and I've told you this, where I wanted to put myself in the exact same situations of where if we're going out to eat, we always sit at the bar, right?
Yeah.
So Mark feels like a dick if he doesn't order a drink and we sit at the bar. I'm like,
Yeah.
but we're still giving them our money. We're ordering dinner. I just want to do the same things we'd always do. And just kind of rewire the brain of like, I don't have to order a drink when I sit at the bar. So doing that a couple of times really, really helped. So when I go out and it doesn't fit, it's so much easier to say no.
Yes.
So that's that was the point of that. So yeah, I'm not doing another dry month. Ugh, no. Just kidding. But yeah, I just wanted to change the little brain bits, because I was sick of my shit.
Well, you can do a not dry month, but then when we do a cut, we'll talk about it.
Okay. When's that gonna happen?
I would say probably April. We'll give you some
Okay.
good time, just chilling, feeling good, your high energy. Like we forget that when we have more food, we have more energy, right? Like
Oh,
that's just how
yeah.
it goes.
Damn
Because
it.
that's what it actually is.
Yeah.
So when we have more food, we have more physical and mental energy to really put into these workouts, to really like be back in the honeymoon phase. You're like, I actually feel freaking amazing. So I'm going to dial in my habits even more and get really good at meal prep. And then when you go
Oh,
into a cut, you fall back on those habits. And I do like it when people kick alcohol out, especially during a cut, because it's not even that it doesn't help your health and fitness goals, it actively works against it.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
every time you drink, you like have dug yourself, you're digging yourself out of a little hole. Depending on how much you drink is how deep your hole is.
Uh-oh.
I know, but it's crazy like what 3 drinks a week will do to your
Yeah.
progress. It just
And you saying that though is like so. I remember if you told me that, 2 years ago, I'd be like,
you'd be like, "Next
oh,
coach, I want the one that'll let me drink."
it's so much. Yeah, it's just so much less daunting. Be like, even if you told me that 2 years ago, I'd be like, oh fuck, all right, I can do this.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
Yeah.
but okay, you know.
Yeah. It's just yes, and that's somewhere you've worked yourself into.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen overnight. It's
No.
repetition. It's repetition. Just how the first time you probably tried to write cursive, you're like, well, that's not cute. But now you probably don't think about writing your name in cursive. You just write your name. It's the same with nutrition. It's the same with exercise. It gets easier as you get better.
Yeah. Amen. Well, what are your final thoughts for the people,
Um,
for our great kingdom?
our great kingdom of listeners, to know that if you become disappointed that things are not happening as fast as they could, it is so much more likely that it's an expectations problem
Mm,
than a program problem. I mean, I'm assuming, and we're talking about someone that is, doing things the correct, scientifically proven way and not like putting all their eggs in a basket of supplements and pills and different potions and things. But like you're eating well, maybe you're in a calorie deficit, but things weren't happening as fast as you thought they would, but they still are happening. That's not something wrong with you or your program. That is something wrong with your expectations.
I concur.
Thank you.
Well, again, everybody, thanks for listening. We love it when you put us into your ear holes. Tell
We
your friends.
do.
And until next week or whenever you click play again, thanks for listening to the FFP
Bye.
Alignment Podcast. Please support us by downloading, rating, and recommending us to your friends and family. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at the FitFemme Project. That's FITFEMME Project. And for those of you looking to find their essential balance of lifestyle and fitness, book a free consult by going to thefitfemmeproject.com. That's FITFEMME project.com and click apply now. Until next time, this is the FitFemme Project Alignment Podcast.